Welcome back, everyone. My name is Setharoth, and if you haven't noticed, I just finished, 5 straight hours of spell mods over the last 2 weeks. So this week we're going to be dialing it back to something a little fun, a little random, a little more straightforward, and give myself a little break because I've got to dig into some other larger mods and figure out what I'm going to be diving into next. So today we're going to be looking at a alternate start mod, which is fittingly named Alternate Start. This allows you to circumvent the 20-minute opening cinematic whenever you want to start a new character, and if you're modding, you're going to be making lots of new characters. Now, as you can see, we are not in a cart destined for Helgen. We are in what appears to be an underground cell. So since this is not a character creation mod, we're just going to go ahead and finish one off real quick and get to the heart of what this does. Now, again, this is not I'm not looking at the character creation mods, so I'm going to skip those parts. Going to give it a few seconds for the MCM to fire and install all my mods. As you can see, we're starting off in a jail cell in the bowels of somewhere, and the only object of interest before us is the statue of Mara. Now, first, let's see. It looks like everything has registered, so we're going to go ahead and do a quick save because I want to be able to pop back to this. The main fun of an alternate start mod is the following.
Approach, my child, and choose where your new life shall begin.
You have a wide, and I do mean wide, variety of ways you can start a new game. So what we're going to go do here is go through a half dozen of these or so, some of my favorites. And we're going to discuss a little bit of how you could build a playthrough around any of these options. So for example, if you pick I arrive on board a ship, you will literally spawn on the dock of a major city in Skyrim. So that's like I arrived on board a ship happily. And if you keep going down, there's also I was shipwrecked off the coast. So you can arrive unhappily. Some of the other options that are interesting is I own property in one of the holds. If you do that one, I highly recommend the hold in Hajjal March, which has some extra features that make jumping through the early quest line a lot faster. You can also start as a member of any of the prime guilds. If you want to start off as in the Thief's Guild, Mage, Companions, it's all there. You can just be a patron at a local inn. So like you wake up one morning at the hotel where you were sleeping. You have some money and some clothes, and that's it. You can be a soldier in the army, and that, I assume, ties in if you want to go straight to the Civil War quest line. I want to escape this cell. We might save this one for last. I actually have not tested that one out yet, so that would be an interesting one to try out. I am an outlaw in the wilds. You can also be a Vigilance of Stendar, which starts you off at their base of operations before the main events of Dawnguard. Camping in the woods is one of my favorites because it also parks you right next to Riverwood. So it basically gives you the same geographic start as the vanilla game, but obviously you can skip all the opening cinematics. I am a vampire in a secluded lair if you want to do a vampiric playthrough. I'm a necromancer in a secret location. I'm a warlock's thrall. I was attacked and left for dead. And since I'm an Argonian, apparently Argonians make good dock workers. Or you can just hit random and surprise me. So one of the funnest that I've tried so far is I was shipwrecked off the coast.
Even in our darkest hour, there is yet hope.
And you just go to sleep and let her rip. Now you literally start underwater. You start by drowning. Congratulations. We're going to cut through. I'm also using Winter Sun, but I haven't done a... Oh wait, I'm Argonian. Ha! So that actually worked out pretty well, Argonians being able to breathe underwater and so on. So you can start off, you got your iron sword, your lockpick, nice magic scroll for emergencies. I didn't even think of specifically picking this start for an Argonian, but that's actually kind of fun. Alright, let's see what we got here. Oh yeah, and we've got a sword, so we can just... There we go. Fight our way out if we have to. I assume there's some stairs around here. Or maybe we have to go back down. Oh, no, wait, it's over here, I think. Where's this? No? The hardest part of getting out of these shipwrecks is figuring out where the hole is in the ship. So if you were to combine this with Frostfall or Frostbite, so that temperature exposure is a problem, it can also make the game a lot more challenging, because suddenly you have to get to town quickly or you will die. Or in the case, depending on your settings for Frostfall, you might just pass out and then spawn in another random location, which might actually be worse off than where you were to begin with. So let's at least leave the ship before we hop over to the next alternate start. If we can find our way out of here. Sometimes these ships, when you spawn, will have like mud crabs and other creatures, which doesn't sound like much of a threat unless you happen to be a level 1 character, and then they can still be a bit of a threat. Wow, this is frustrating. I feel like I'm trapped in a maze. Usually it's easier to get out of the sinking ship. I'm really glad I picked Argonian for this start. I'd be more worried if I had to, well, you know, breathe. That is so weird. There should be an easy way out of here. Am I missing something? No. Well, okay, this is one example. If you do this particular start, you might find yourself stuck in a boat, which will give you a good kind of puzzle opening that you don't usually get from Bethesda games. Let's go ahead and load. If my plan is correct, yep, we should be able to just pop right back to where we started. Let's see, what should we cover next? Alright, so Shipwrecked is a great one if you add in mods like I Need, Campfire, Frostfall, those kind of environmental issues.
Approach, my child, and choose where your new life shall begin.
For those kind of issues where you're looking for survival, another fun one, we might as well go with that one. I Was Attacked and Left for Dead. That's a fun one. This one, so when you're shipwrecked off the coast, obviously it will randomly drop you at any shipwreck along the coast of Skyrim. Attacked and Left for Dead is similar, except you could land virtually anywhere in Skyrim.
The light of hope.
So let's have a
Don't give up.
little moment and see exactly where we ended up when we were left for dead. Whoa. Oh geez. We were apparently excavating a Dwarven Ruin, and then we were left for dead. So obviously this is one of my, because I'm demonstrating alternate start and not doing a full playthrough, I don't have Frostfall and Campfire and all those mods installed. But if you're looking for a survivor playthrough, this is a pretty fun way to start, because you've already got you got a place to sleep, you've got some, well, bodies, things to loot, some survival gear. I mean, you could duck into the dungeon and hope to find some usable resources before things tried to eat you. But as you can see, you are not in a cart bound for Helgen, but at the same time, it's going to be quite a long walk before you get anywhere. And all you really have is your starting spells. So these kind of starts do tend to favor spellcasters, because obviously you have a way to hurt and you have a way to heal, which is kind of vital for any playthrough. But if you want to do a higher level of difficulty, you would be like stuck in melee right now, like literal punching, and then just trying to go through and find what you could and don't completely scavenge for resources, which I think adds a fun dynamic to the game, because you don't get that cushy start next to Riverwood with a nice mine that you can break into. Oh geez, it's kind of making fun of you, right? Look, there could be stuff in here, except you have no lockpicks because you just started the game. So yeah, I have actually used this start to end up just about anywhere. At one point I was dropped next to a wagon that was fully loaded, and it had recently been raided. And at the time I was using immersive creatures, and a bandit happened to spawn right at that particular location and then tried to kill me as I'm level 1 with no weapons. And I was running around, and a patrol, actually, a Stormcloak patrol, came and saved my life, which made that playthrough eternally indebted to the Stormcloaks. It was fun to see all the different random features
and choose where your new life shall begin.
playing in. Okay, so if you arrive on board of a ship, that obviously starts you off at a dock.
Which city
We'll see
did
if it
you
lets
sail
you.
to?
Yeah, it lets you pick. So you can, any of these primary cities you can start at.
So be it.
Oh.
Approach my child, and choose where your new life shall begin. Awaits you, traveler.
Okay, I tried to click out of it so I could pick
Approach
something
my
else.
child,
Apparently you,
and
okay,
choose
apparently
where
you
your
can
new life
X
shall
out
begin.
and then redo the process if you accidentally regret what you picked, because arriving on board a ship sounds kind of plain to me. Okay, so if you want to have the easiest start possible,
Which property do you own?
particularly, for example, if you're doing demonstrations for mods and you're not looking for a really popular, or you're not looking for a really immersive playthrough, you can do
The
the
simple life can
Winstead
be its
Manor
own reward.
Hajjal March, something like that. Not sure what to do with the J's and the double L's in there. Maybe the H is silent, who knows. But this means you start off with property. So step 1, you now have a place to store everything. Hajjal March is one of my favorites because it's huge. It's nice. It's like you were, I don't know, for role play, I make believe that you were your grandfather, like passed away and then left this all to you. But as you can see, you have a place to enchant, you have a place for alchemy, you've got a place for cooking. I'm toying with one of the new ingredients mods that's going to be coming up probably next month. It works well with iNeeds, but I need to tinker with it a bit more before I do anything else. Let's see, I might as well show you guys the full tour. So up above the second story, you have the master bedroom. Very nice. Oh, saber cat. I probably caught that myself. You got a nice little back room here with more room for supplies, a workbench, if you're going to be actually building on this house. So it's not stuck as is, right? You can use the Hearthfire expansion to upgrade your house as you see fit. Then we have the entryway. This is your entrance. You got some nice display cases, strongbox, obviously where you would immediately put all of your valuables if you were worried about a thief breaking into your house. And then, not to be overlooked, is the basement, which has some interesting... It works well with some of the other mods that I've been using. So for example, if you're using Winter Sun, and you can actually worship any of these deities, you can now change your deity right at the start of the game, right? Any of the major divines. You can just flip a switch, boom, now you are religious to the one you want. Or if you want to switch mid-game, they are available. Then, as every Nord needs, mead barrel, of course. You got some training dummies, and then a fully working forge, smelter, and leather. Don't ask me about the ventilation. I don't know. Must be magic. All that smoke doesn't, asphyxiate you while you're down here working. So this is a nice place if you're looking for an easy start, because all of your crafting resources are here, and this is just the beginning. The real trick to this particular manor is outside. And the game lets me pick my religion. Okay. Alright, so you've got your starting lumber. You own a horse, so you can actually ride around without having to have guards chase you or gain a bounty. You have a cow and chickens. Very nice. Another place for leather. And then this is my favorite. This is a wagon at your beck and call.
Where do you want to go?
Who doesn't charge you money. And as you can see, he has a lot more travel options than the usual. So for example, you could hop right down to Riverwood and immediately start the main quest. I usually pop over to Whiterun first so that I can do some shopping, buy some spells, because I usually do spellcaster. But yeah, you can hit every major city and most of the towns all from here at no cost, which makes it a lot easier for questing. Rather than having to run from Riverwood to Whiterun, you can just fast travel here to your place and have your friend haul you there. So that is something for faster starts, probably the fastest start, because you can even use this guy to get to Kynesgrove. Like a lot of the long distance traveling that you have to do in the game, you don't have to do because of this guy. So if you're looking for a more immersive playthrough, I wouldn't pick this start, but if you're looking to skip or just quickly cut through all of the extra fluff of the start so that you can get into a playthrough or test some mods, that is a really good start for that.
Approach,
Let's
my
see,
child,
what's another good one?
and choose where your new life shall begin. Which guild are you in?
So as far as the guilds go, I believe it just gives you the 3. Oh no. Oh jeez. Oh, I forgot about some of these. You can start off as a member of the Dark Brotherhood. So basically you can start the game in the Dark Brotherhood questline. On top of the companions, the mages, Thieves Guild. You can start as a member of the Dawn Guard, and you can even start as a member of Lord Harkon's court, which I have never done before, but now I want to see what that looks like.
Be forgiven for your transgressions, vampire.
Jeez, well that's a very merciful mother. Apparently we're going to be a vampire lord after this. Abracadabra. Oh jeez. Okay, that's creepy. Where are we now?
I sense the power of the ancient blood in your veins.
Okay.
It is made awake at last. Good.
Huh.
The power is growing.
That's clever.
within you, and now you must learn to wield it.
Wow.
Remember, you are no mere vampire.
Cool. So you can actually jump. You can start your Skyrim playthrough in the expansion questline. You can literally start as a vampire lord or as a member of the Dawn Guard. Like you can save or ignore the Skyrim main questline entirely and just play as this. Start right here if you want. That is awesome. I approve. That is cool. That is the best place to put that start if you are going to be a vampire lord. I like that. All right, we're gonna test out a couple more of these weird ones just to see where they drop you.
Approach, my child, and choose where your new life shall begin.
Let's see. So patron or local inn, that's pretty obvious. I mean, that will just give you a list. But it does mention what city they're in, right? So if you wanted to start at Nightingate, if you wanted to start just a regular start in Riften, or even Raven Rock or Rorikstead, far away from all of the major cities, so you have to do quite a bit of traveling on foot to get to the next place, which would give you a lot of hunting opportunities. There you are. There's a lot of options there as well.
Even the lowest among us can rise to greatness.
Every time I cancel out, it still tells me I've completed, but it looks like you can still redo the choice anyway, so that helps.
Life shall begin.
I assume if you're starting as a soldier, it just gives you the 2 choices for the Civil War.
Which side of the war are you on?
Yep. Okay. So then you could start a game right in the Civil War quest line. So from a modding standpoint, if you were specifically changing the Civil War or vampirism or something, you could start with the guild or the town or just start your character right in that plot line. And we're not going to do the vanilla start. Everyone and their mother has already seen that more than they want. Not because it isn't great, but because when you're a modder, you are modding and trying new playthroughs all the time. Vigilance of Stendar is another fun one that I've seen if you want to start off as a vampire hunter. Although it just starts you off in that location, but we'll have a look at it. So for those of you not familiar with the lore of Skyrim, Stendar is very much anti-undead, and his agents in Skyrim are usually out fighting vampires or zombies or Daedra. But as you can see, this is before the hall is destroyed in the quest line. Sorry, spoilers. I just won't tell you which quest line. There you go. Now you still don't know when it happens. But you can start off with a bunch of Vigilance of Stendar. There isn't, I don't think...
I am the keeper of the vigil here in Skyrim. We bring Stendar's mercy to the innocent.
Okay, so it's like you're just a new recruit. I don't think that it actually comes with any quest lines for the Vigilant. There are mods for that, which I have not tested out yet. One of them I've heard is really good, but I really want to get a better graphics card before I dive into that. But because you are a friend of the Vigilance of Stendar, all of this stuff is takeable, including gold, wine, alchemy. I assume there's some fighty stuff here too.
Stendar's mercy be upon
Looks like it's just the 2 rooms. But it gives you quite a bit of starting gear. Place where you can cook if you're doing more of a survival playthrough and you need to make sure you've got enough resources stocked up. I'm surprised there isn't like weapons around. Oh, what's in here? Okay, so this is a good start, and actually there is even a deity. Ooh, is there a shrine to Stendar? Come on, there's got to be a shrine to... There it is. Ha! So if you combine this with Winter Sun, you can literally start as an acolyte to Stendar, and just your entire playthrough can be clearing dungeons of evil, slaying Daedra, complete side quests, never break the laws of Skyrim, and never practice the foul summoning arts. So you can, if you want to be a cleric or a paladin, you can totally just start your playthrough right there, and you're good to go. Very nice. Alright, let's see what else, what other kind of mischief we can get into with some of these alternate start options.
Approach, my child, and choose where your new life shall begin.
Alright, this is a good one. If you're going to do a survival, if you're going for an easier survival playthrough, this is my choice.
Good hunting.
If you want to be a druid, a hunter, or test out camping mods, or I Need, or Frostfall, all of those work really well with this start, because this one also works if you're trying to quickly cut through the initial vanilla questline. It starts you off with plenty of gear. As you can see, we've got an enchanted item, food, drink, some items that are expensive. I think I saw a couple of rings in there. You get your food, your cooking pot. And the best part is because you've started out right here, you can go to the map, and there you go. Helgen's right here. Riverwood's right up here. So in essence, you skip the entire vanilla questline and just start right outside Helgen. And you know what? While we're here, I'll show you what it looks like. This is what the vanilla quest looks like when you are using alternate start. So in any of the starts I just showed you, when you get to Helgen, this is what the quest requires. We're going to go around. You can go in, if you go into that cave that I just passed, that is the cave that you leave during the main quest line. And then you would pick which of the two guys you want to save, because they're both wounded, and only one of them can accompany you out of the cave. And that is kind of like when you pick sides as you leave Helgen. Let's see, usually... Did Alduin already leave? Usually you can get a good view of Alduin leaving, and then you can arrive here after he's done terrorizing the place. Very nice. And the quest line leads you to this particular corpse. The Adventurer's Journal. Now this is a nice touch from the modder, because if you actually read the journal, I won't read it all for you, but it goes over the experiences of this adventurer. And it turns out that this adventurer is you, the character that you would have been if you had played the vanilla start, which I thought was really clever. And then it trips the next step in the quest, which is... Did it already go? Maybe it did and I missed it. So it gives you two options. You can investigate the cave, which we already walked past, or just go straight to warning the residents of Riverwood about the dragon attack. And if you go to Riverwood and warn them, then it just puts you right on the main vanilla quest line, right? You can get the quest to get the claw of a Bleak's Falls barrel, and then you can hop over to Whiterun and get that taken care of. Yeah, so this is a really good start if you're still wanting to participate in the vanilla quest line, but not have to do, obviously, the long vanilla start. So that still gives us some questions. What if I want to get as far away from your regular, average, boring vanilla start as possible? Oh, you're going to love this one.
Approach, my child, and choose where your new life shall begin.
I'm a necromancer in a secret location.
Beware the forces of the undead necromancer.
Oh, this one's fun. I was terrified and disappointed at the same time when I did this start. So as you can see, well, this is your first hint. Anyone know where you can find this? You can tell me in the comments below, where do you find Crimson Nirnroot? And then you should know why I'm both happy and nervous about starting in this location. So as you can see, this is obviously for a mage. You've got some alchemy ingredients, enchanting table, soul gems, lots of alchemy ingredients. Let's see, you got a knapsack that gives you some traveling gear, potion of healing. You can do some cooking, apparently without a, I guess can you activate the fire? Nope. Alright, some cooking in a cold pot. Oh, this is, I think plot-wise, this is the Necromancer master that you were studying under. Let's have a look at his field journal. Ah, okay, so this is the Necromancer that was the mage that was studying the Crimson Nirnroot, and now you know where we are if you've read that little information pop up. And one of the reasons why this particular start freaks me out is because, as you can see, let's see, so they're starting off with a couple of spells: Conjure Familiar, Lesser Ward, Raid Zombie, Conjure Storm Atronach. So we're going to go ahead and give that a try, even though I know how this is going to go. I mean, regardless, all your options really are right now is healing and fire. And it drops you right in frickin' Blackreach. I do not care about my religion right now. I'm trying to sprint away. You literally step out of the door and a dwarven sphere impales you. So depending on how much starting health your character has, you will already die on that one hit. I actually, the first time I tried this, I had to sprint as soon as I came out of that door, just to get away from this guy in time to not die right when I set foot outside. So it takes a couple of tries to get through that door without dying. Ooh, well that worked out. Okay, so at level 1, you can start off in Blackreach. Maybe if you were a stealth character and you were confident in your ability to not get caught, that might work. Maybe-ish, not sure. Getting out, I guess your first thought would be to make sure you could get to the surface, and then you could go back to your lair at any time. But unfortunately, courtesy of the mod, you are stuck here until you can find another way out. There are multiple ways in and out of Blackreach, but the main way is sealed off. So you can't just step out of the door, run to the exit, and go back into Skyrim. This start is not meant to be easy, and it puts you at level 1 against all sorts of nastiness. And it's a great start if you have the guts and you don't mind risking death, life, and limb. And look at how little damage I'm doing against this thing. Ah, level 1 sucks. So that's a highly challenging start for you. If you want something tough and difficult, highly recommend starting off as a Necromancer in Blackreach. It sucks, but you learn to embrace the suck. That's why you bring in mods like Wildcat to make combat so much harder, because you learn to love it. Alright, so on that happy note, what else we got?
And choose where your new life shall begin.
Alright, so we already saw you can start inside, you can start the vampire questline of Dawnguard, but you can also just start as a regular vampire in a secluded lair. I forget where that is, so let's go ahead and have a look. Wow, it starts you right off being infected. I guess that makes sense. Whoa, hi! Jeez, wow. Personal bubble?
Hmm?
Oh,
What are you doing?
dude.
What do you need?
Huh?
Need something?
She's my friend.
Hmm?
You're literally an ally of these vampires. I don't know to what extent. I mean, I doubt there's like quests or anything you can do as vampire allies. Oh, hi. That's not creepy at all. But, I mean, no shortage of loot here from the bodies of your vampire friends and the people they kill for fun. So plenty to do there. Wow, this is big.
What do you need?
This must be part of the Dawnguard quest line, because that's a gargoyle over there, and I have no memory of this place. Usually when I'm testing, I tend to just stick to the vanilla quest line. I haven't... Man, it's been a long time since I finished Dawnguard. I don't remember the significance of this place.
Don't speak to me, meat.
Whoa! Meat, you say? But I'm a vampire like you! Maybe that's their word for novice. What else we got here? This, Lovely. Wow. Okay, so I don't think you can get any, like, companions down here. Oh, geez. Okay, so they got plenty of victims. Plenty of gear. Soul gems, the armament that their live captors had. Or live captives. Formerly live captives, however you want to discuss that. Some other cell back here. Yeah, wow. So plenty to do there. So this then, because these guys... Whoa! Hi. I think I'm... Are we okay? Wow, okay. So apparently he was just showing off. Because I'm actually their friends. Weird. I'm not used to vampires being all chummy with me. Usually they're the ones trying to kill me or eat me or... Wow, this is a big place too. Oh, and there's a body down here. It's always funny how they're like, where is this being stored? Is this like 7 dental fillings that are worth 1 gold apiece? I don't know. So again, this is another option because at this point, this starts you off as a regular vampire. This does not start you off as a vampire lord. And I will double check that. Correct. You have Vampire's Servant and Vampire's Sight. This is one of my older profiles, so I don't think it has Sacrosanct on it. Yeah, so I think this is still like the vanilla Skyrim powers, if I am not mistaken. Alrighty, let's see what else we got. I think we've gotten through most of the options. I mean, some of the boring ones, like starting off at an inn as a patron.
Approach, my
it's
child,
just
and choose where your new life shall begin.
You wake up in the bed at the inn, and that's it. Like, there's nothing really special in there. You have like some shirt and some gold, and that's it. It's a good place. It does allow you to start inside any major city in Skyrim, which is nice. If you want to start a playthrough in Solitude, for example, you could do that just by clicking that button. I think we've got through most of the new ones. Let's go ahead and try a Warlock's Thrall while we're looking at some of these.
Yet hope.
Warlock's Thrall. Where do you think a Warlock would be kept? Alright, so we start off in a... Okay. Oh, is that our Warlock?
You need something?
Okay.
What are you doing
So,
that for?
usually a Thrall is like under the sway of the Warlock, but we seem to have full control of our faculties. So, it looks like it just starts you off with a friendly Necromancer in the bottom of a mine. Is this really all there is? Is it really that small? It's just that one room? Let me check. Yep, I don't see anything else. Okay, so let's see where this dumps you. So you pick up some basic magical ingredients, but nothing, nothing earth-shaking. Not like, I mean, if you start with the companions, for example, you're going to get basic heavy armor and a two-handed sword and shield. But if you just start with this, you end up, what is this, Riften? Aha, I was right. Interesting. Okay, so this one just drops you down here. Well, you're kind of close to Riften. You could probably get to Riften from here without dying. Getting all the way to Windhelm would be a trick. Not to mention Everstead. Well, that's another fun option. So you can kind of, once you're familiar with these different options, you can pick whichever one best suits your, the amount of starting equipment you want, how far away you are from civilization. Like, if you're doing a survival playthrough with Frostfall, I Need, and Campfire, and you start off with nothing in the middle of nowhere, just surviving alone will be super challenging. I had one, let me see. Yeah, it was over in Winterhold. I started as a shipwreck, and then I had to run to Winterhold, and then I didn't have enough money to buy a room, so I ended up spending like 2 days just stealing what I could, because I had another mod that raised the price at the inn. Like, the inn costs 150 gold a day instead of just 10. And suddenly I was literally stealing food to survive. Not just because I was bored or it helped me raise my pickpocketing skill, but because I was trying to survive, which I thought was a nice twist to the game.
Approach, my child, and choose where your new life shall begin.
Alright, last but not least, let's see what happens when we say we want to escape this cell, because I have never done that before.
So be it.
Okay. Guess we'll just grab these lockpicks and hope I don't embarrass myself in front of all of my audience members. Alright, 3 lockpicks. Apprentice. Okay, lockpicking skill's pretty high. Alright. I always use the rule of thirds. when it comes to lockpicking. Okay, so that got me out of here. And it looks like you start off with some gold, a key to the abandoned prison. Skeleton's got some more gold as well. Those look ghost. Okay, we got some. Oh, geez. Oh, okay. Woo. No, thank you. Level 1. I'm vacating the premises. Wait, is that another? That's another one. Okay, so if you apparently this is interesting because the idea of the mod is that the Lady Mara is giving you a second chance, and if she's stopping your soul from dying, it would make sense that your soul was first stored or captured somewhere. Such as a place where tons of souls are stored and waiting judgment. Whoo! That's cool. So be warned, if you try to just leave the cell, you will probably be fighting your way out or running for your life. Ooh, wow. And at level 1, there's really not a lot. Yes, we're not doing Winter Sun today. That is for another. That's for another day. Okay. So again, if you're doing a survival type mod, I think I remember that fort over there. It is not populated with helpful, generous people. But again, this I love this. It gives you a real sense of you have nothing. You're level 1. If you are incorporating I need, for example, you start the game off with the lowest possible food and water and sleep. So like you're hungry, you're thirsty, you're starving, and you desperately need to sleep. And that's how you start the game on those kind of resource-intensive survival mods. It's a lot of fun. You know what? This is the last start, so why not ride the waterfall? What do you think? Will I survive? Level 1, basic minimum health. This what? Oh, am I stuck? I'm trying, people. I promise. I hit jump and it just won't work. Ah! Oh, Argonian. Right. Whew. Forgot about that. Oh yeah, under Imperious, the Imperious racial mods, your Argonians have twice as much swim speed. So it's like, freedom! Oh geez, oh, too much freedom. Too much freedom. Rocks to the face after a long drop. Way too much freedom. Oh, that is cool though. I approve. That's awesome. I forgot, when you're Argonian, like the waterways become great forms of transportation. You can literally swim all the way out to sea. Part of me is just wondering if I'm going to die running off of one of these waterfalls. Alright, well, you know what? One of these waterfalls actually would not be a bad place to take a pretty picture. There we go. Let's see. Just line up like this, like so. Alright. Alright, everyone. Thank you so much. Oh, okay, I've got to change my angle here a little bit. The shaky cam is not working. Me getting a seizure right before the end of the video will not help. Alright, thank you everyone for enjoying this little depiction of the mod alternate start. This week's theme is alternate start mods. I'm going to go over a couple more, one on Wednesday, another on Friday. Feel free to like the video and subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed the content. Let me know down below which of those starts that we went through looked like the most fun for you. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Take care.